Welcome to the Useful Interview Expressions lesson. Now, in this lesson, we will look at some useful interview expressions. You need to make sure that you have adequate vocabulary and phrases to explain your position in the speaking test. You may need to ask for clarifications if you don't understand something or for something to be repeated if it was said too fast for you. Now, it's also good if you have a variety of phrases to give your opinion. It's common in part three of the IELTS test, for example, to be given an opinion or view to say what you think about it. So you will need to say if you agree or disagree or partially agree. Or maybe you think it depends on the circumstances. Or you may need to give yourself some thinking time before you can ask a question. Knowing and practicing some useful phrases will help you in these tests. So here are some examples of interview expressions. When you want to say something another way, you can say, what I'm trying to say is, in other words, to put it another way, what I mean is, perhaps I should make that clearer by saying, and then when you're agreeing with an opinion, you can say, yes, I agree. That's my view exactly. I would tend to agree with that. I couldn't agree more. When you disagree with an opinion, you can say, no, I disagree. I'm afraid I disagree. I see things rather different myself. I wouldn't say that is necessarily true. I tend to disagree. I'm not so sure about that. When you're partially agreeing with opinion, you can say, I don't entirely agree. It is true that, however, that is partly true, but I agree with that to an extent, however. When you're getting asked an opinion by the examiner, you can say, what do you think? What is your view or opinion? What are your views on? How do you feel about? And when you're saying your opinion could vary according to the situation, you can say, that depends. I think it really depends. That depends on how you look at it. And when you're asking for clarification, this is only for part three. Could you please explain what word means? Sorry, I don't understand the question. Could you explain? Sorry, I'm afraid I didn't understand the question. Sorry, can I just clarify what you mean? Are you asking me? And then say what you believe you have been asked. You can also ask for repetition. You can say, sorry, would you mind repeating the question? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat the question? And then this is when you want to sum up. So all in all, to sum up, to conclude. So when do I use these phrases? You can say something in another way. Like people use these phrases to further clarify what they have said. In other words, to make it clear exactly what they mean. So you're saying the same thing you have just said, but in a different way. Maybe you felt you did not explain something properly to the examiner, and you want better say it again, but differently, or you just want to emphasize your point. So here is how you do it. So the examiner might ask, some people think that children should not be allowed to watch anything they like on television because some programs can negatively affect their behavior. What do you think? So this is how you can answer. I tend to disagree. I think children should be given the freedom to decide what is right for them to watch and not be told by the parents what they can and cannot see. In other words, it's up to the child, not the parent. Another way to use these phrases is getting asked an opinion when you agree with an opinion or disagree with an opinion. So you may use these phrases if the examiner asks you for your opinion on the topic. So this is also the same question, but a different answer. I wouldn't say that it is necessarily true. Most children are mature enough and understand that TV is not real, so I don't believe that it causes them. I think children should be given the freedom to decide what is right for them and not be told by parents what they can and cannot see. Another is when you're partially agreeing with an opinion. You may not fully agree with the opinion and you wish to explain this further. So, same question but different answer. I don't entirely agree. It is true that some programs cause harm to children. For example, programs with very violent behavior, so parents must ensure children should watch these kinds of programs too much. However, there has to be a balance and they have to be given some responsibility to make their own decision too, and it's also possible for the parents to monitor their children's TV habits all the time. And then lastly, you can use it for saying your opinion could vary according to situation. So it's common to say depends when this is the case. So same question, but different answer. I think it really depends on the way the child has been brought up. Some children are brought up well by their parents and they know what is right and wrong. I don't think watching some programs that have violence or similar things would affect that. Other children aren't given the care or attention they need by their parents who may have personal problems. Watching violence on TV may make them even worse, and they already have a bad behavior, so they probably do need to be monitored.